Hi, she's Trixie and I'm Sarah, and this is Our Yarn World, a place where we come to share the love of yarn crafting, all that gives us and what we hope it gives you. We're on episode 141 today, and to be very clear, yes, we've been gone for the last 2 weeks due to very unexpected Michigan weather. The first week that we were gone, it was because of an intense heat wave that we had hit. It went from probably being like in the 70s to solid 90s for a solid week, and it was just kind of
miserable.
Yeah. And then the following week, we suffered through a unexpected storm that I'm not quite sure, but I was told that it could have been a very small tornado that came through.
It was hurricane force winds.
Yeah, but with that, there's a lot of power outages, and we were part of
trees
that.
Down.
We were a part of that, so that made it very hard to be able to film, despite the fact that both times we had time. It was just the circumstances made it almost impossible to be able to be productive and be able to come to you guys.
To be honest with you, we had a branch from a very large tree come down over our driveway. We do, excuse me, we do our videos at my house, so it would have been very difficult to get into our driveway at that point. But Sarah and I took a drive to the worst part of after the storm hit, and we saw the devastation with people's houses and the trees that were down. And I heard from my husband's uncle. He lives in a trailer park, and he said that there was trees down in the middle of trailers that were just like bowed, and they were losing their homes from this. And the park has known for a while that the trees needed to be taken out, and just it never happened. So people's lives are uprooted right now, and it was just a big thing for us. And so we took the time off that we needed to, but we're back now. So I want to give you an update on the random blanket. So I'm doing this with a 5mm hook, a double crochet in, I do have a label here, in Lassie Moneta yarn. It is a wool blend made in Italy. There was 24 skeins, and it was grays, white, and gold. So I'm going to start at the bottom where I began. When I began, I didn't know that I was going to be random, so I started with all of my black, which I wish I hadn't done, but now, I'm not going to pick it out now. So, and then when I got to the dark gray, because my first original thought was just to go in ombre order, all the way up through the grays into the white and to the gold. Well, I got very bored very fast with just being black and then dark gray. So she's laughing at me again. So I started just adding other colors, and sporadically, there's no rhyme or reason. I'm just going to add colors. Whenever I start getting bored, I'm going to add a different color, and this is where I'm at. So I don't know how long this is going to last. It's going to last as long as the yarn does. I'm trying to make all my stripes be all the way across. There's no halfway marks in any of this. I'm not finishing a ball and going into a next one. I'm just doing straight lines, straight stripes, so that it will look very cohesive when it's done. But this is where I'm at, and it is fun. It's just taking a while because it is a smaller size thread that I'm used to. I'm used to four ply. I'm not really sure what kind of ply this is, but it's probably a 3 or 2. And so I'm just not sure. But it is taking longer. Now, I do have one extra little bit of a surprise. My husband's Uncle Jack is a very generous man. I'm just doing this. So he's a very generous man, and he has given me such lovely gifts from his deceased wife. She loved to craft, and she loved to do yarn work like Sarah and I do. So one of the things that he gifted me was this. Isn't it beautiful? And so,
cool.
This is what I have been putting my hook into.
It's so cool.
And so it's just a snap hook, or a clasp.
I've never seen anything like that before.
You know, it looks like an old-fashioned clutch purse, just the top of it. So it's all something very nice, and I treasure this because he gave it to me. But yes, that is what Uncle Jack does. And we will talk about him more in the next video. We have already discussed that we were going to talk about him and his generosity in our next video. So you're going to get a whole beautiful view of this man. So what are you working on?
So I'm going to be real. These last 2 weeks have been hard with everything going on, and part of it is motivation. Especially when it's split motivation. I have obviously a dream to be able to start being a little bit more self-sufficient on my crafts, and it's been very much of I am grateful to every person right now that is actually taking that seriously and asking me to putting in orders, while also wanting to create a stock and needing to figure out how to do that evenly. And the thing is that I have been trying to do that, and when you're dealing with, and I'm sorry that my eyes are down, when you're dealing with situations such as having projects and gifts and different situations where you're trying to make a gift, figure out how to fulfill an order, build a stock, while having both your kids home for the summer, you're kind of stuck having to really do a balancing act. And it's been very, very interesting navigating how that's going to look. Yeah. Especially when a lot of the things that you're working on are supposed to be these coming out of your head projects, and they're already challenging. Not that they're not fun, just that they are in their own right challenging. And I have been trying to navigate those things. And I'm not saying I'm doing bad, because I wouldn't say I'm doing horrible, and everyone so far is not saying that I'm doing anything bad. But there's this level of trying to find that balance between the being with the kids and for the summertime, and navigating doing crafts more full time while not exhausting myself, while also trying to make sure I'm getting everything that I need to get done. It's been a little bit on the rougher side, having to navigate those new parameters and stretching myself and stretching my limits a little bit. But for an update, I don't remember honestly where I left off, but I was creating a gift for my dad for Father's Day, and I did not make it in time for Father's Day due to the fact that the gift was taking so much time, and then obviously getting orders that were on a bit of a time crunch as well. So it kind of, and then the weather and all the complications just created this weird effect of what was supposed to take priority in my time. My dad's very fine with that. But I am doing a Calvin and Hobbes theme for him. Yeah. And I know that I showed you part of where I'm at, and I don't know how I feel about the head.
I think it's good.
I'm going to be honest. A part of me wants to redo the head.
I don't think you need to.
And we will see what I do. But right now, Hobbs is quote unquote done. There might be some things that I do more of, like the stripes on his head to be more defined and different things, but honestly, he doesn't look that bad.
You did good.
I'm currently working on Calvin, and I have his skeleton right here. And my plan today is to really wrap his skeleton. So due to the fact that he is a small, skinny kid, I actually plan to wrap the wire with the skin flesh color instead of crocheting because of skinny arms.
Oh yeah.
I want to build up his body a little bit before I put I fit the shirt on.
Yeah.
So that there's a little bit more of a feel that it's not just a wire under there, but it's not going to be a body stuffing. It's going to be I'm probably going to wrap yarn just to kind of create a cushion.
And it's not like Dad's going to play with them. It's going to be something that's in this stand.
It's going to be a display.
Yeah.
But then, obviously I've showed that the purpose is to be having Hobbs with Calvin next to him, and then for Calvin to be propped up on a wooden block. But I would engraved the Calvin and Hobbs font onto the block itself, so when it's displayed, they will be able to be kind of like a display. But yeah, there's just some things I wish I had maybe thought through better. I don't know what I'm going to do. I will figure that out on my own.
I don't think it needs to be redone. I think it's just going to be great for him to know that you can do it.
I know. Coming second hand, I would have preferred starting the face with the white from the center coming out with more definition. And it's not going to take that much effort for me to chop off this head and make a new one. But it's just going to be a matter of how quickly do I get Calvin done. Because right now, I have bald Calvin's head. His nose is done, his ears are on, his eye placement's there. I don't have a smile because the smile is lower in his face. But right now I'm working on his hair. And he has this spiky, wild hair.
Tufts of hair.
And so right now what I'm doing is I'm creating these triangles. And the tail will be tucked, and I'm going to fold and sew the sides, and these little tufts of hair
perfect
will be able to be sewn on in different spots. And then I plan to make a little bit of a tangled knot in the back because that's what you normally see, and the rest of it will be covered in yellow. Originally I tried to make a cap to put on him first to be the baseline and then build stuff on top of it, but the hairline was too far down, so I'm going to actually do the tufts first and then build back.
Okay.
But I don't think he's going to be that tough to get done. But again, the reason why this project is not done yet is because of me having to compete with other projects that are going on. And I'll show you that next week. Because these are the only things I really wanted to show off this week because it's just an update from before. But yeah, it's just kind of one of those times where you're just sitting there being like, how do you get one thing done when so much seems to be going on? There's just so much going on. The weather, having all the kids, navigating a new stage in life. I mean, we're even getting a new dog. So there's just this sense of all my crafting stuff needs to be up out of the way. Yeah. All this stuff needs to be moved and re-navigated so that the dog's not going to be getting into it. And it's a lot of stuff to navigate. It's just been a crazy couple weeks. But I know I'll get it done. I know it.
And we have a verse today. Not a verse, a quote today. And I'm not sure who said it, but the quote itself says, "Today's new friend is tomorrow's family." And we feel that way about you guys. Today's new friend is tomorrow's family. We just have such a great community of people who are like-minded and love to do the crafting and communicate and everything with us, and we're sharing stuff, and you guys are sharing stuff, and we're just enjoying. So,
I just feel, especially around this season, we're getting up to 4th of July, there's this sense, people always like to celebrate with a sense of community and a sense of coming together. And I feel that, even relating it to the channel on top of just what this part of the year represents, just finding a way to be able to appreciate the common ground and what we all recognize to be so important is just, no matter how you feel about certain things, because I'm not pro-war at all, but I still can appreciate sacrifice, even if I wish that sacrifice didn't have to be made, if there had been other ways to be able to navigate something before people had to lose their lives and time to something that feels to me. It's not that what was being navigated wasn't important, but I feel that bloodshed is always at a cost that is always way too high for whatever situation's going on.
Yep.
Things could just be so much easier if we were so much more humane, but this world is so broken and hurt, and when we hurt other people, and I understand that. It breaks my heart that so many people have to die. But even through that, being able to celebrate the wins, navigating the losses, being able to have that ability to appreciate both, even when it comes to communities like ours where we're able to celebrate our wins, deal with our losses. Even when it comes to crafting, it's not that it's the same level, but it has those same highs and lows, and we can appreciate it. So for anyone who just is in America and is celebrating the 4th, we thank you for your service. We hope that you are doing well. Hope that you are enjoying your family time or just community time, and that if you're crafting, maybe bring your craft with you. Do you have any projects that you're doing for this time of the year? Just, what... I know that some people like to do festive outdoor pillows or even displays for their get-togethers. I've been seeing people do center displays where they get a pool noodle and they fold it in half, and then they put almost like fake wine flutes in between it, tie them together, and then they take fake red, white, and blue flowers and stick them into the the pool noodle, and then you can get red, white, and blue lights, and then twist it around and have it hook up, and then you can fill the cups with water and have tea candles float in it. It's everyone has their own way to be festive, even if it's not yarn crafting.
It's crafting.
It's
in
crafting.
Itself. It's beautiful art.
And it brings people together.
Yeah.
And there is an importance and things that we can be able to come together for. I think that is so important, and sometimes it can be so hard to be able to do that monthly to get together, but even if it's just for things like this, even if we're not on common ground on all the political things, let's just find ways to be able to be here together, to be able to appreciate what we have and what we can do with where we're at, even just right now, no matter the limitations, and be able to come together and just enjoy each other's company, just like we do every single week with you guys.
Yeah.
So we hope that you enjoyed our video. We're kind of having to do it a little bit smaller this week due to kids being a bit rowdy, but as always, we hope that you will join us next week where we talk about Uncle Jack, and you might be able to see my other projects and where we're at with those. And as always, we hope that you can stitch your way
to mental health.